All right, so when quarterback, which is kind of chalk on how we thought it was going to go, the Arizona Cardinals did not trade their pick out. They actually selected Marvin Harrison Jr.
Smart.
is now going to the Arizona Cardinals. Kyler Murray loses Hollywood Brown. Now he has Marvin Harrison Jr., the first wide receiver taken off the board. A.J. Hawk, this man has been a spectacle at Ohio State since stepping foot onto the Columbus campus. What are your thoughts on him being the first wideout taken? And feels like an easy one, but also he didn't do the combine, didn't do the pro day, didn't do any of the shit.
Hasn't signed his NFLPA, so cannot sell his jerseys yet either.
Hasn't done anything. He's got a New Balance deal.
Won't be on Madden?
Will not be on Madden right now.
But, AJ, you watched him at Ohio State. The world did. What are your thoughts on Arizona picking him as the first wideout off the board?
Well, I live in Columbus. I've been hearing about Marvin since the day he stepped on campus. And not only like the physical tools and everything, you hear about him inside the Woody Hayes Athletic Center there, catching balls from the jugs machine by himself every single night. General Bob Carpenter is in there all the time. He says every time he's in there, Marvin is in there catching balls. So he has like all the tangibles and the intangibles, and I think that's huge for him and huge for this team. And hey, you got Kyler Murray throwing you the ball. They can, as we know in Arizona, they can we know dots, explosives all over the place. So Marvin will step in right away, I think, and have a huge impact.
We just saw Marv put the hat on there for the Arizona Cardinals. His dad was the one he dapped up on the way out to the stage. If you're watching the show on TV and us on your phone, his dad's been an instrumental part of this entire thing. Obviously, Marv, Hall of Famer for the Indianapolis Colts. I was hoping that Jim Irsay would walk into the war room tonight in Indianapolis and say, we're moving to 4 and we're getting Marvin Harrison Jr. He was expected to be the number 1 wide receiver off the board. Then there were some conversations about neighbors and maybe Rome Odunze. Bill, what are your thoughts on Marv, and what do you think he's going to translate to in the NFL?
Big guy, big target, great work ethic. Just like AJ said, I think there's certainly a lot to like about this player. A lot of his plays come outside. He's not really a catch and run guy. He's more of a contested catch player. Certainly a big target in the red zone and third down. I mean, there's no doubt he'll help the Cardinals, and he gives them it's a big guy to cover.
Kind of sounds like an old Cardinals receiver.
Oh, a little Fitzy.
Fitz, yeah.
Yeah, big Fitz.
Third down, need him. If he can be the third down weapon for Kyler, he'll have a career forever out there in Arizona. Great city of Phoenix.
Yeah, fantastic. Gotta love Chef Bo's. Coach, because he is the son of a Hall of Famer, is that something that GMs take into account when they're drafting? Like, hey, this is a guy who's the son of a pro, probably knows the steps to be great?
I think it's more important that what he actually did, like AJ said, that he's in there every day, he's working, he's not living off his dad's reputation, that he's in there, setting the, being himself and creating his own, his own model, not somebody else's. So I think that carries a lot.
This isn't a leech. He earned his own keep, but he also had a lot of the game shown to him. Like he's on the jugs machine in the morning and at night because Marv's like, hey, if you want to be great, this is how this whole thing goes. His dad's been very active, a part of it, which I think is a beautiful thing. I think he's the 5th son of a Hall of Famer to be drafted in the first round. Wow. I believe, in the history of the NFL.
Okay.
So good for Marv. Congrats to him. Let's go to some film here and see what the Arizona Cardinals are getting with Marvin Harrison Jr. Bill Belichick's big breakdown on the 6'3", 209-pounder out of Ohio State.
Yeah, he's all a 6'3". Last year in 22 with Stroud, again, here's a good opportunity for him. You can see his speed, and here's his run after the catch where he can, get some space to go. But here he beats the the corner's got outside leverage, just fights his way across it. Good hands. It has obviously a big target, and he can go up and fight and make these contested catches like he does here against King that's good corner there from Penn State. But again, coming inside, he runs this in cut here and just lays out, catches the ball. Really good concentration, good hands, big target. I mean, you love to throw the ball to a guy like this over the middle of the field. And he can cover guys up blocking. This against Notre Dame. And you can see here he gets out on the corner. You know what it's like going against these guys.
Yep,
but I mean,
good
there he is. He stalks them, and that creates some room there. Another really good route.
Blocking right there.
Got hurt on that play.
Got rolled up and came back.
Yeah.
Can you roll that back, Foxy? He doesn't get the ball on this play, but I think this is really a good route for a big guy. You don't see guys that are 6'3", 6'3 and a half have this kind of bend and flexibility as a route runner. He snaps out of it here. I don't throw him the ball, but that's the kind of route running that he can do. I think he's just got to learn to create a little bit more separation. Like this is a It just doesn't really have enough separation there. And
we need a little more pizzazz, huh?
I thought this was a disappointing play here, in the Michigan game where, he gets undercut on the slant, ball gets picked off, and then he doesn't really finish the play. I think he's got to. You got to compete every play in this league. You can't have those plays.
Just like everybody that gets drafted tonight, there's going to be some stuff to fix. But this has been the guy that they've been talking about as the can't-miss prospect for 2 years. Because remember, last pro day when C.J. Stroud was throwing, there was a Lamborghini that was right behind a piece of glass at the car dealership, and that was Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yeah.
We saw him down there at that All-State Sugar Bowl game, and that's when I think you and everybody fell in love that saw him in person.
Yeah, you mentioned it earlier. It was a little talk about, hey, maybe neighbors, because he is that explosive big play threat from day one. But me and Con, man, I can remember it vividly, standing in that end zone and watching him run a clown route, a triple post corner, and almost single-handedly winning that game, obviously with C.J. Stroud in the Peach Bowl against that Georgia defense who were back-to-back national championships. So seeing that separated me. He knew he was the guy. He's done all he needed to do on the field. Didn't do any of the pre-draft bullshit. I'm not working out. I'm not running. I'll talk to the teams that I need to talk to. And now him going to Arizona, I think it's a good situation for him. I think it's a good situation for Kyler. And he's polished. He's very polished. He's a tough kid. He's going to come to work and kind of set that tone for that offense.